you know, given this new information about somebody who is acting more like a Russian, you know, operative than anything else.
The whole misinformation is just one more aspect of the whole Russian misinformation campaign.
Smirnov admitted that officials associated with Russian intelligence were involved in passing a story about Hunter Biden.
The truth is, Smirnov's claim of $5 million each to Hunter and Joe Biden was absolutely a sexy nugget of the Biden-Ukraine corruption story. And yes, it's been used by Republicans, and it's been used on this show a number of times as evidence. But to claim it's the only evidence Joe Biden is corrupt is frankly laughable. As it stands, there are highly credible allegations of Biden corruption from 5 different countries, aside from the U.S., by the way. 2 deals in China, 1 in Romania, 1 in Kazakhstan. You have Russia, you have Ukraine. 5 countries, each either heavily corrupt or at least nefarious to this country, if not both. Disregard Smirnov totally, and Ukraine still stays on the list because there was so much other evidence, including from Hunter's best friend, who admitted to Congress that after Burisma's owners told Hunter to get rid of the prosecutor general investigating Burisma, Hunter then called his dad. And then his dad leveraged American foreign aid to get Victor Shokin fired. This perfectly explains, by the way, why the energy company in a corrupt post-Soviet country would pay a goober like Hunter Biden $80,000 a month. Why else were they paying him? You move on from Ukraine to China, and the evidence piles up even further. Why did the Bidens need so many shell accounts for their totally legit business with Chinese communists? Why did they have to launder their millions if it was not ill-gotten? And the arrest of Alexander Smirnov has nothing to do with Hunter's business partner Tony Bobulinski's claims that Joe Biden was critical to the China deals. And from China, you go to Russia, where the Moscow mayor's wife gave Hunter Biden and his business associates $3.5 million while Joe Biden was the vice president in 2014. Then she got to have lunch with Hunter and the VP at Cafe Milano in 2015. And then more recently, during this presidential administration, that woman conveniently found herself left off a list of damning U.S. sanctions imposed after Russia invaded Ukraine. This is such a fantastic story of corruption. It's too bad we don't have a media in this country. And none of that seems to matter to them. To Jake Tapper and everyone else in the mainstream media, the only thing that matters, of course, is Smirnov.
This is the guy that Senator Chuck Grassley was insisting that this FBI report be revealed to the public.
Correct.
This was the guy who basically provided hours worth of content on Fox, especially in prime time. This was the guy who James Comer, the guy who runs the House Oversight Committee, was relying on as a major source of information. And the FBI is saying the guy's a liar. In fact, so much so we're charging him with a crime.
Correct, Jake.
If there's one thing I hope this show leaves you with is that Jake Tapper is not credible at all. It's about what you'd expect from him at this point, but not what you would expect from Republicans, who are, at least one, is still trying to push this same thing, although he is one that did just vote against impeaching Alejandro Mayorkas. Take a listen to Ken Buck last night, also on CNN.
We were warned at the time that we received the document outlining this witness's testimony. We were warned that the credibility of this statement was not known. And yet people, my colleagues, went out and talked to the public about how this was credible and how it was damning. It appears to absolutely be false and to really undercut the nature of the charges.